tractor pile.
Brady Ingram, your 2019 Pro Stock Diesel Truck Champ. First one to kick off the class. Well, that thing kind of sing-songing all the way down through there, almost like a tractor that was one-wheeling. Kind of odd. The distance, 307 and 46.
Yeah, you rarely see that with four-wheel drive trucks, the fact that they are that.
Welcome everybody to it's Monday, April 26th. We have another action packed show with you here, Jason Schultz from the Beer Money Pulling team up there in the big screen. We got Jeremy Smith, who's built this yellow Pro Stock. It's kind of the talk of the world right now on what's going on with him. We're going to lead off the show with him, followed by Brad and Brady Ingram. Up there in the top right corner behind the Outlaw logo, we got Brent Yaren, Leroy Schluter, then my ugly face, Ryan Rusink, Brad and Brady, Charles Posch, and Paul Romack. So welcome to Let's Grow Pulling. Please type your comments and your questions into the comments, and we will get those out to them. And we're going to turn it over to Jeremy. Jeremy, before you start talking, I'm going to bring up this picture right now. You have to tell me what you are doing because you have the whole world talking about this beautiful, beautiful tractor. Where's it at? Hold on there. I got it behind you. Sorry. Start talking. I'll bring the photo up, guys. So.
Well, we're real excited to unveil this new tractor, new Pro Stock we're building. Want to do something a little different, and you decided to build a Challenger. Saw this sheet metal and thought it was pretty cool, and we're really excited to unveil it.
Everybody, I mean, we've all been asking who's doing it. We've been hearing about this, this Challenger Pro Stock and different things like that. There's a front end picture, and to Paul's point, whoever's doing your social media, you guys have been teasing us just the perfect amount, right, Paul?
Oh, very much so. Very, very much so.
So I got to give credit to Speed Shark Graphics there. Jax, she's been I hired her to do the social media. I'm not a social media kind of guy, so they've been handling that and doing a great job.
Yeah, I want to show some of the videos, but I don't want to get kicked off of Facebook, Jeremy, because it's got some music in there, and every time we do something with a song, somebody's got rights to it, and I don't want to pay $5,000 to Facebook, so we don't play music. So,
but okay, well, we'll go ahead and jump in here. So, Jeremy, some of our viewers may not know who you are and your pulling history. So, I guess to start off, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you're from, your family. What you do for a living.
Yep, from Medina, Ohio. We're about 30 miles southwest of Cleveland. Business-wise, what we do, we have a landscape supply company, Smith Brothers Mulch. So we make mulch, compost, soils. We sell it wholesale and retail, pretty much in northern Ohio.
Sweet.
How long have you been pulling, Jeremy?
Well, I've been around pulling since I was 6 months old. I went to the first county fair, but farm stock pulling started when I was 9 years old. County fair, did all that through my childhood growing up. Started pulling hot farm once I got out of high school, and then partnered up with a neighbor here, and we pulled super farm in 2000. Ran Region 2 for a few years there, and then I built the current tractor, High Strung, in 2003. That was an Engler chassis. Lance Little Tantrum finished it out, did the sheet metal, and then was a Cyclone diesel performance engine, Cyclone machine at the time. And we ran Grand National Super Farm for several years, 2003 through to probably about 2007. And then wanted to go a little faster, so we ended up putting a 4.1 on before the 4.1 class existed, and pulled with some pro stock. That's down a little bit and worked with NTPA and kind of got the ball rolling a little bit. At least the conversation about that 4.1 class, and kind of went with that for a few years. Wasn't a whole lot of action. It took a long time to get that going, as we all know. So didn't do a whole lot of pulling there in the late 2000s. 2010, I got an opportunity from Steve and Courtney Ortner out of Wakeman, Ohio. They had two pro stocks components, 310 Express and Old School. And Steve and Courtney gave me an opportunity to drive for them. And I drove for 4 years with them on the Ohio State circuit and some NTPA national events as well. And that got me hooked on the pro stock class, and kind of went from there. Had a lot of success there. I had 3 state championships. Steve had 1 in those 4 years. Had some national success with that also. After that, I put my tractor back as a 4.1. We ran with Ohio State for 1 year, 2014, and then converted it to a full-blown pro stock in 15, and then we've been running that with Ohio State then.
Awesome. So you're coming from basically a 10,000 pound pro stock class to a new 10,000 pound pro stock tractor, correct?
Correct. It's like you said, we've been we still running a cast rear end, High Strung still a cast chassis. So we knew our limitations were coming. We've been fighting movement rate, fighting the small hood. There. So this has been in the works for we've been talking, planning for probably 4 years, just working slowly, but it's been a 2-year project that once we made decisions and move forward, so we're really excited to get it out this year.
So your teaser videos that you have been putting out there, second to none. I mean, they are awesome. They give you just enough information. But I know that you have a kind of a reveal that you're planning. When is the first time this tractor is planning to be on the track? We are shooting for the first Ohio State event, which would be at Dragway 42 on June 11th and 12th. There's no guarantee we're going to be there. We still have a lot of work to do, but that is what our goal is, and we're going to do everything possible to be there. Okay. So I'm going to ask you some questions. If you want to say don't, I'm not going to answer that. So you have a Challenger, you have Challenger sheet metal. Is there a specific model of Challenger that you went for?
It's the 1000 series.
The 1000 series.
Yep.
Okay. And you were talking, it's funny you mentioned that. I've worked on a couple of some of the older sheet metal tractors that were more square and on a pro stock.
Yep.
I see this Challenger where it comes up and it just Y's out at the top. gives you all that room for the Charger. I got to believe there's a whole lot more room underneath that hood than what you were dealing with before.
Oh, absolutely. That was one of the fights, and we got got to give credit where it's due. About 4 years ago when we were talking about this, I was we were at a pull, and my good friend Monty McCoy, he pulls Dust Till Dawn, John Deere Pro Stock, and we were talking about building one. He's building one also, and we talked about sheet metal, and he mentioned Challenger, and I didn't think much about it, and kind of just went on a conversation. But about 2 years later, we were at a pull in Upper Sandusky, and we were out and walking around the fair. It was before we were there early and had all their stuff ready. We were getting something to eat and walking around, and we saw, we were getting serious about what sheet metal we were going to do at that time, and there happened to be the new Big Hood John Deere, the new Massey, and there was a Challenger 1038 sitting side by side right there in the display. We're like, this is unbelievable. These are the three tractors we were talking about, and they're right next to each other. So we went back and got a tape measure, and we're climbing on them, taking measurements and pictures and all this different stuff. And it's like, wow, that was literally the first time I saw this hood. It's like, wow, this thing's cool looking. And the biggest thing is, look how big it is. It gives us a lot of room to do what we need to do under the hood. Because, like I said, I was really tired of fighting that small hood.
Yeah, you try to start stuffing Pro Stock Chargers under hoods, you appreciate that, any extra room that you can get.
Absolutely.
So do you have any ties to the Challenger brand, or do you use that anywhere, or is it just something you picked out?
No, it was just something we picked out. Like I said, Monty planted that seed there. It was an idea, and a few years later we saw it, and just like it jumps out at you. It's very unique, and really wanted to do a Massey hood of some sort. My dad is a huge Massey collector, and so I thought it'd be really cool. And I grew up as a kid with Massey Fergusons, and we on the farm here, and so I thought that would be. Wanted to try to do something there, but as we kind of looking and measuring, and it's like, it's just not quite sure if that hood is actually big enough to do what we want to do without still fighting it, to be restricted some way. So that's kind of why we went this other direction, and we knew we wanted to do something different, and this was a great opportunity.
Well, it definitely is different, and it's got the buzz going. Everybody's been I've been hearing about this tractor for probably at least 6 to 8 months. Heard that it was in the build phase somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah, I was really hoping to see this very soon. So on that note, you said you were going to try to run the first Ohio State. Are you planning to run any other organizations with this tractor?
Well, right now our focus is to promote Ohio. I'm on the executive board at the Ohio State, first vice president, and my number one goal is to keep Ohio going and keep the Pro Stock class going in Ohio State and really promote Ohio. So that's where our primary focus is going to be. If we have the opportunity and time, to go to some other events, we will, and we look forward to doing that in the future for sure.
Awesome. If you could arrange this, I would greatly appreciate it. Make sure that Bruce or somebody else is there with the camera. We need like an AGCO family reunion, like say Schrammick's, AGCO, or the orange one, your yellow one, maybe a Massey sitting right next to it, of the tractor out of Wisconsin or something. I think that would make an awesome photo. And I for one, if Bruce, if you could take that picture, I'd buy a big old print of it for sure.
I will do whatever I can to do so.
Photoshop it. I don't care. But yeah, no, it's a great looking tractor, and everybody that's watching. So we've talked about these videos. There's some teaser videos, the TikTok videos. I'm not a TikToker, but whoever is doing your TikTok videos, if you could give them a shout out, they are doing it right for sure.
Well, thank you. I don't. I'm not a social media guy, but that is the only thing in this whole event that I'm doing. Is I have made every TikTok video myself. So it's
boy, good for you.
You are
good
wow,
for you.
Wow, embracing that social media.
Yep. Yeah, I never had a Facebook page up until about as soon as we launched this, so 3 weeks ago or whatever. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, if anybody is listening that is not currently liking their Facebook page, it's Jeremy Smith Motorsports.
Correct.
And you can see all of the videos that he has posted on this. You can see a bunch of different little teaser videos. If you're trying to get on there and find a like full-on view, I'm sorry, you're going to be disappointed. You're gonna be sitting there looking at it saying, okay, just go a little bit farther with the camera, and then they're going to stop. You're not going to see every single bit of it, but you're going to see enough to make you want to see a whole lot more.
I promise the reveal's coming soon.
Awesome. So I'm going to ask a few questions about the tractor. Do you want to divulge power plant? You can say no. That's a no. All right, moving on. Moving on. Do you have a name in mind for it? Not that you have to give it away, but is it going to have a name?
It will have a name. The name that we've chose is Spontaneous Combustion.
Okay, awesome. And I'm assuming maybe some graphics on the side to go with it?
There may be not. We're working on something. If we do, it's going to be very, very minimal.
Awesome. Yes.
Good for you.
Metal,
Good.
Everything. I mean, this is the perfect time to plug it. You know, chassis and sheet metal is built at Tim Engler's shop. Brian and Kurt, they did a fantastic job, and just couldn't ask for anything more. Paint wise, Brooks over at Davis Brothers Designs. I met with them. They came over to Tim's shop, and we were talking about what color paint we wanted to do and weren't sure. And they wanted to do something, but not crazy, you know. And he shopped this and did a little panel, had yellow on the top and black on the bottom, so we could see that contrast. And we held it up there, and you know, well, maybe we'll look at a couple more. Maybe we'll look at something else. And we held it up there and changed it in the light and saw how it changed. You know, from real light to kind of almost dark down to almost the stock Challenger color, and said, man, that's the color. We're doing it right there. We don't need to see anything else. So they just did a fantastic job on the body work, the paint. It's just it's unbelievable. Pictures do not do this thing justice. It's we laugh. We just sit there and we can stare at it and just find more details that these guys just nailed, and all the way around. Brian, Kurt, Brooks, everybody there. They just nailed it.
Well, I will just tell you, at least from my perspective, you're not the only one that can sit and stare at it, because I watch these videos trying to see just a little bit more each time, even though I can't, but I still try, and I try probably way more than I should. But I'm ready to see this thing. I've heard about it, and it looks great. That color has got is it some flake in it or some?
Yep. It looks like it's got a little metallic in it and a little bit of
Yep.
pearl. When it gets in the sunlight, it is a completely different looking tractor than it is inside the shop. So I'm not sure what it's going to do under the lights at night, but during the day in the sunshine, it's unbelievable.
Under the lights, it's going to run like hell. That's what you're supposed to say.
That's what I hope.
Yeah. So one of the other things that I know I have talked to a few people about, are you going to have any merchandise available, some T-shirts that might be able to be purchased for this? Because I know a lot of people that want one.
Absolutely. We're working on a full design, full line of merch. It's all going to be available through Speed Shark Graphics. They're going to have an online store where you can actually go on, purchase it, and we'll ship it right to you, so we can go anywhere you want. We'll have a whole trailer full of stuff with us when we finally get stuff designed. We'll have shirts for both tractors, high strung and the new one, and you know, so we'll have that with us, and then we'll also be able to buy it online.
Awesome. Well, I for one for sure will have one. But yeah, it's a beautiful tractor from what we've seen so far, and I tell you what, there's a lot of people talking about it.
Thank you. We're excited.
So good deal. So been kind of looking through the comments. I don't know if you guys have seen anything else. A lot of people commenting on the tractor itself. What's this? Danny Lloyd would have looked good in Fent green too. Well, I'm not sure about that. I really like the yellow. I'm a little partial to the yellow.
Yep.
But yeah, anybody who's watching, go to Jeremy Smith Motors. I think we posted some links in here, but you can see more videos. Like I said, we would play them on here, but Schultz will get thrown in Facebook jail. So
Again.
Yep.
Yeah. Still again, whatever.
Go to TikTok. Jeremy Smith Motorsports on TikTok. Everything's there also.
Yep.
I posted the link in the comments already. I did a screenshot here. This is what I found. Basically, Jeremy, at your Facebook page or your TikTok right now, this is kind of what it looks like for everybody. If you can see that up there on the screen.
Yep.
But all of them have music. I looked for something, didn't have music, and all my TikToks have music too. So don't feel bad about that. It's
right.
all good. So that's what makes them kind of cool.
Right.
So one of the things that I'm thinking about everything that we talked about, Jeremy, you talked about being in with the Ohio State pullers. Is there a pretty good class of pro stocks in Ohio State?
There is, there's a lot of great pro stocks, some of the best in the country,
Agreed.
right in our area, real close. And, we get to pull with a lot of those guys, some more towards the end of the season when they get done on the national circuit. But, we have a good following there. That we're like every organization, we're struggling sometimes for numbers. So that's one of the reasons why, I didn't change my old tractor. We're going to keep it. We're going to bring it with us, and try to help numbers there and keep the show going. So, we have a lot of top-notch tractors. Some don't come every night, but it's usually a pretty good show.
Jeremy, how long ago, if you can see the screen, how long ago was the Green High Strung built?
It was built in 2003. We debuted it in 2003 on the NTPA Grand Prix.
Okay, thank you.
Do you know how many events you guys are going to have in Ohio State this year for the pro stocks?
I believe there's 14 at the moment.
Yeah, you got a full schedule then. So awesome. I knew there was a bunch of strong running pro stocks in Ohio. I just didn't know how many of them could hit the Ohio State pulls, because a lot of those guys like to run the national stuff.
They do, and we're fortunate. Towards the end of the season, the pro stock season is a little slow in the beginning, but we're pulling almost every weekend in August and September. So we get a lot of tractors come back home and get to run with us. So it's a lot of fun towards the end of the year in Ohio.
Awesome. And so far, everything's looking good in Ohio as far as events and everything.
Yep, everything's still looking good. Obviously everybody is kind of wondering what's going to happen, but we as an organization decided we're moving forward. Going to be prepared for a full season. Going to hit the ground running, and we're ready for our best season yet. And hope everything cooperates and we can do that.
Well, if you're looking to get some attention, I think a Challenger Pro Stock is a hell of a good way to do it.
So we're hoping.
Hey, Jeremy, how are you? You said you were the guy who did all of the videos on TikTok. Have you kind of gotten into that at all, or is it just put them up and then just let them fly and watch what happens, or?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's I'm learning as we go. But don't know much about it. Just saw some videos how they did it. Talked to some people on some hashtags, and don't know a whole lot about that. My buddy Justin, I'm sure he's watching. He informed me what a hashtag was about a month ago. So that tells you really about how my social media presence is. And so we kind of went from there, and we had a couple that went pretty viral. Don't know why. Some others did, but I don't know. Just kind of made them up. Found some good music, and thought it looked pretty cool.
Well, if you're wanting to know why, it's that yellow, beautiful tractor sitting right there. That's why.
That's some of the reason.
and your awesome camera skills, of course.
Right.
All right.
So, since you've driven, for the most part, it sounds like diesel all your life, right? In the
Correct.
Competing and competitively.
Yes.
So let me ask this. If you could steal the keys figuratively to whatever pulling vehicle you want for a weekend, what would you take? Where would you take it? And why?
Well, coming from the diesel world, I don't know much about anything else, but I don't know. I think an alcohol super or a unlimited mod would be a pretty good ride. And of course, you got to go to Bowling Green if you're going to take it on the big stage.
There you go. Fair enough. It's a question we ask everybody who shows up on the show.
Yep.
Jeremy, I said, What's your most memorable hook? And you mentioned Bowling Green 2012. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. That was back when I was driving for Courtney Ortner, and we were Bowling Green. This was Sunday. I was last hook on an afternoon session, and Steve was in the pull off. Brad Moss was in the pull off. Track was kind of going away. You know how it is afternoon. Last hook on an afternoon session at Bowling Green on Sunday. There's usually not much left. So we didn't have much to lose. So we put it clear over on the side and somehow snuck it out and made the pull off, which was pretty cool. But when we come back, Brad Moss ended up breaking his block, and Steve broke an ejection line, which left the door wide open for me. You know, I was still hot. I had nothing for those guys, but we still made a pass and ended up winning. So winning Sunday afternoon at Bowling Green, my highlight, and then Steve ended up winning the ring that year also. So that was a pretty good weekend for us.
Yeah, I would think that would be a hell of a weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, Jeremy, a question for you too is with like the Ohio State tractor pullers, what are some like the premier events? What are some of your favorites that you hit throughout the season?
Well, you know, every event that everyone's unique, you know, you like going to it, but probably one of my favorite places to pull is Mount Vernon, Ohio. It's just the way the fairgrounds is set up. You know, the grandstand and kind of a hill there behind. It's a nice setting. It always has a great crowd. You know, there's a lot of other events. Tiffin's great. Croton. Love going to all these places, but Mount Vernon's always been kind of cool. Knox County, and even back Super Farm, you know, we pulled there, you know, through all the years. We've had quite a bit of success there, which helps making it a good place to go pulling also.
Mm-hmm. Sweet.
So going back to the 4-1s that you used to pull, you were one of the first ones to have a 4-1 on a setup, weren't you?
Yeah, I don't know who was, but we were all doing it about the same. I don't know for sure if but definitely right there. That was probably 2007 era when we started, and just trying to get the ball rolling with it.
Awesome. So you've had a pretty good history with pulling, and now you're, as far as I'm concerned, in the diesel world, you're almost at the top. I mean, that's kind of the pinnacle. So pro stock is what a lot of people shoot for. Jason Schultz. Sorry.
Yes, that's it's one of those things you know, when you started Super Farm as a stepping stone, you know, that was the class, but you never thought about that at the time, and never really thought about pro stock. You always thought it was, couldn't afford it, couldn't do it, too much maintenance. How you going to maintain it? But really the opportunity when I drove for Steve and Courtney, once you sit in the seat, it's tough to go back. And, that was kind of one of those things that you just, kind of pushed me to come back to the pro stock class with my own. And that's where I want to stay.
Hey, before we wrap things up with you, Jeremy, I want to ask a question about the 4-1. Being a pioneer in that 4-1 class like you were, how do you feel about the possibility of the 4-1s starting to become a component chassis, or would you rather see it be the regular ag chassis? Share your feelings on that with us. Well,
this is just my personal opinion on it. I think it should stay as a cast chassis. There needs to be a place for these tractors to go. If everything's a component, we know it's safety, it's the whole bit, but I've been running still the cast chassis parts, the same thing, as a pro stock, and it's held up. We're not tearing parts up and it's going. So that's my feeling, is it should stay as a cast chassis. If you want to be a component, you should go to pro stock.
Jason Schultz was giving you a 2 thumbs up on that one.
I saw that.
Also, hey, is that roll cage on high strung? Is that an unusually tall roll cage, or is that a standard size?
It's a little tall.
Okay, that's what I thought. I didn't think it was an optical illusion. I thought, man, when he's sitting there in that cage, he's got a lot of room there above him.
Well, let's just say everything that high strung is, this will be the opposite. So they will be very dramatically different when they're sitting next to each other.
Gotcha.
Awesome. Well, I think if that's everybody, I don't know if we got any other questions, but I think I've covered pretty much everything I kind of talked or wanted to talk about.
Jeremy, thanks for coming on tonight. This is great. Your tractor is the most talked about tractor right now everywhere. And we're excited that, I mean, you're rolling it out properly. I love the sneak videos. I know you're driving Paul crazy. It's all your little teaser videos, but that's how you do it. So I love it.
Yep. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. We look forward to bringing this tractor out, and hopefully we can see everybody at Pulse sometime this summer.
Hey, Jeremy. Thank you.
Anybody that you want to thank, sponsors, or anybody that's helped you along the way? Anybody you want to thank? Anybody you want to thank, sponsors or anybody that's helped you along the way here?
The biggest one I want to thank is Jim Fink. He's been with me, engine builder, from day one, and can't thank him enough for everything, the way he's helped me through all the years. So Cyclone Diesel Performance, his partner Clint, everybody that works at the shop, Levi, and just everybody that's helped through the years. It's been a great journey. Like everybody knows, Poland's great people, and it's just been feel very blessed to be part of this whole thing. So thank you very much.
Colin Burkholz says, if anyone has NTPA TV, you can watch the episode of when he won in Bowling Green at 2000 in 2012. It was a great class.
Yep, that's what we talked about there. So.
Awesome.
Jeremy, have a great night. Good luck, and we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Jeremy.
So I'm going to bring those guys over. I'm going to play a video, and then we'll let Leroy start talking. I got to unmute him. Brad and Brady, you're free to talk now. Let me bring up a quick video. I think this was Brady driving. Is this it Shied last year? Are you guys at Wagglers? Brady, can your dad adopt me?
No.
Brad says no. That's a good answer, Brad. I wouldn't take Schultz into the family either. So, well, welcome to Brad and Brady Ingram from Farina, Illinois, joining us on the Beer Money Let's Grill polling page here tonight. Want to join the ITPA page? We're linking you guys on the ITPA page. I think you guys might be sharing it on your personal Facebook page also. But there's a third member of the Ingram polling team that's not on here. Of course, Mom Susie. Brad, I want to ask you a question. Let's flash back to July 30th, 2019, the Coles County Fair in Charleston, Illinois. You were the winner that night. And when I was interviewing you on the track, I made the comment, who decides on who gets to drive the truck? Dad Brad or Mom Susie? And you said, well, I don't think that decision is going to have to be made much longer. I think that we're both going to be losing the seat to this truck because Brady's going to be turning 16, and he says he's going to get the keys to the truck. Do you remember that night?
Yeah, I remember that night. Yeah, that's pretty well what we had planned the last couple of years was letting him take over when he turned 16 and see what he could do behind the wheel. So.
Tell you what, Brady, since you've taken over behind the wheel, you've had some very impressive passes. One of the most impressive passes was back at Marthasville, Missouri last summer. Remember Rumble in the River Bottom?
That's exactly right.
I'm going to throw a couple distances out here. The number 2 truck that night, one of the strong runners in the Midwest, and we're talking about Daniel Whalen with Cummins Stout. The second place finish that night was 336 feet, 0.93. The winning distance that night was 360.59, laid down by the Scheid Diesel Dodge, Brady Ingram. That was I don't know if you could hear the crowd through your helmet, but that was undoubtedly the largest roar of the entire evening that night.
Oh yeah, you could definitely hear it down there, and where I ended up, all the fans was down there, and it was just a packed place that night, and it was fun.
Yeah. So you got your start right after you turned 16, and you got to travel quite a bit. I think was the one of the first hooks that you made was like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning down there in in Tennessee, Eagleville, Tennessee. Was that right?
Yeah, we went down to Eagleville, Tennessee to run with Sean Hughley and Stoney Hargett for the first hook of the year, and it just was one of them events. You just kind of kept getting pushed back a little bit, and there was a bunch of hooks that night, and we just happened to be the biggest class. We was the last one, and it was about 2 in the morning, 2:30, but we finally got hooked this sled and made it happen.
I believe that was the event that everyone was trying to get in. They were lined up like 2 or 3 miles down the road in each direction.
Yep, that was one of the biggest little county fair pulls I think I've ever been a part of. There was people coming for miles and parking in fields. It was insane.
I think Brian Lively, our friend Brian Lively, I think that he waited for about an hour out there on the road. He finally turned around and went back home, and yeah. So was that your very first hook in the seat in the Scheid Diesel Dodge?
That was my first one against competition. I ran whenever I was 15. We went to Stewartson, Illinois, and we made a test pass there, and but then that was my first one against people.
How'd you do that night?
We ended up winning.
That's what I thought. I thought your maiden voyage, you could 1 for 1 there from the start. So, okay, Brad, talk about. I know you work for the Scheid Diesel there in Effingham, and between you pulling the 3.6 in the Pro Stock diesel trucks, and then Kent Crowder with the Super Stock diesel trucks, you guys have really, between those two trucks, have put Scheid Diesel on the map as far as diesel truck pulling.
We've tried. We've got an excellent crew of guys behind us, and it's easy to do when you got a lot of guys behind you with a lot of talent and a lot of years of experience there, and the know-how to get everything done and keep the trucks going.
How long have you actually been with Scheid Diesel?
I've just been here 25 years.
Just 25 years. So you were around when the original Scheid Diesel extravaganza started out as a little event in Effingham, correct?
Yes, yeah. It started right here behind the shop at the church parking lot. It's grown just a little bit in the last years or two.
I know when we did the live stream on Lucas Oil Racing TV a couple of years ago from Terre Haute, I had Dan Scheid on the live broadcast with me, and he was saying that the first couple of years it was a smaller event right there at Terre Haute, and then as it got larger, it moved to the Wabash Valley Fairgrounds there in Terre Haute, and now, of course, last year was the first year it moved to the Wagler Motorsports Park over in Lyons, Indiana, where it'll be again the last weekend in July of 2021, or excuse me, not July, August of 2021.
Yes, 27th and 28th of August will be at Wagler Motorsports Park in Lyons, Indiana.
Okay. I got you. Before we get too far in this interview, I want to talk to you real quick about someone who is an employee of Scheid Diesel. Most of the people in the state of Illinois and Indiana and a little bit of Iowa would know this gentleman when we throw his picture up, and we're talking about Tim Finnegan. Tim Finnegan was a employee of Scheid Diesel, and he was a president of the IPA, the Indiana Pullers Association. He was the president for him for 14 years, and he was a salesperson for Scheid Diesel. And unfortunately, we lost him back in November, just a few months ago, at the young age of 47. So tell us about what Tim did with Scheid and your relationship with Tim, and what he meant to not only truck pulling, but truck pulling in general.
Tim, like I say, I can remember him back when we first got our start in pulling, way before he come to work for Scheid. And he was everybody's friend. I don't think he ever met a stranger. So, I mean, he turned into a great outside sales person for us. He covered the state of Indiana, a little bit of Missouri, and went to some of the Indiana stores as well. And then he also was on the road at all the drag racing and sled pulling events where we had our vendor trailer set up. I don't think anybody could not like Tim. He was always a great guy to talk to, and he always had a comment to put in and make you laugh.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, if anyone's associated with tractor or truck pulling in the state of Illinois, if anyone mentioned the name Tim Finnegan, you knew exactly who they were talking about. Now, before we went live, you were saying that you guys actually, the past few months have been kind of bad for you guys because you lost another long-term employee as well here recently.
Yes, Mike Wood had been with the company since Dan Scheid bought it in 1982, and we recently lost him as well. He'd worked in Terre Haute, and then actually helped start the Effingham store and was the general manager over here for several years.
Well, let's talk on a happier note. So, Brady, in your short career spans here so far, has there been a favorite track of yours that you've been able to pull on?
My favorite one's got to be Diesels and Dark Corners. We went down there. They had 3.6 and super stocks, and Friday night we put the big Charger on, and we ended up putting 10 foot on the best super stock trucks in the country, and that's by far my best favorite place to pull at.
Now, how about you, Brad? In your career, is there when you see the schedule that comes out every year, is there an event that you circle that you are looking forward to?
I'd have to say it'd be the Scheid Diesel Extravaganza. I mean, although Susie went in the ring there at Bowling Green in 2014 was one of the best pulls, and like I say, watching Brady win there in Diesels and Dark Corners was definitely fun.
They always say that your hometown pull or your own pull is usually the hardest one to win. But tell us about your success there at the SDX.
We've had a lot of success there, but I mean, there's been a lot of last minute chassis changes, engines, tires, pretty well throwing everything at it just to try our best at getting a win there. I mean, we're trying to put on the best show we possibly can.
One thing that I've noticed in the state of Illinois, your class, that Pro Stock Diesel class, everyone always, of course, wants to win when that hook is dropped in the hole. But off the track, the class that you guys got with yourself and Keith Witt and the Whalens and Jeremy Hayes and Linda Burke, what a tight knit group of pullers you guys there have in the state of Illinois. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, we have it in the state of Illinois, and I mean, and in the whole nation. When our class gets together, they're the Extravaganza. I mean, they cook out every night. It's a good time. Everybody's welcome, and they all enjoy themselves.
I'm a little disappointed because I've been watching the comments, and I was really hoping that like Nathan or Ferentz or Will or somebody was going to make some comments that we needed to get some backstory on. But I know they're watching somewhere. I just haven't seen their comments, but I know that they've got some stories that need to be told.
Yeah. Like I say, they're definitely two of the great guys in the class that we enjoy visiting with and hanging out with. I mean, that's why we travel the country and do this.
I was not going to bring up Marthasville with your hook, Brad. You were pulling Keith Witt's Crosswire that night, and you didn't have such a good night as what Brady had there at Marthasville.
No, we kind of missed a tire pressure setting, and new guy in a good truck and made a bad run there. So I've had some pretty good success in Keith's truck, and I was really planning on beating Brady there by about 20 foot that night, and I'm not sure what went wrong, but I'm sure it was my fault.
Well, at least it wasn't like Keith, the pole where the hood came up and black smoke everywhere and couldn't see where he was going. But
yeah.
So Brady, not only are you involved with motorsports with the 3.6 Dodge truck here, you're also involved in other sports too, with baseball and basketball. So real quick, funny story. So the week after Shipshewana, the Midwest Winter Nationals, I'm home and I'm watching the Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond Illinois basketball team on my 70-inch big screen TV because my nephew plays, and they're playing, and their opponent for that day got canceled because of COVID-19. So their athletic director is scrambling to try to find an opponent to play that night, and they came up with a team called North Clay High School. Okay, and so I'm watching this game, and all of a sudden I keep hearing Brady Ingram, Brady Ingram, Brady Ingram. You ended up having 16 points that night, and I texted you and I said, "Hey, hell of a game," and you texted me back and you said you haven't played that good in a while. So I guess I have to ask you, between the sport of tractor pulling and then also you play a lot of baseball and also basketball, is there a favorite?
I'm pretty diehard for baseball too, and baseball's hopefully going to pay the college bills, and truck pulling probably won't. But we actually just had a baseball game today. We played, but baseball, that's my strong suit. I really love that, and I've had that about as long as we've had truck pulling.
Well, you did a lot better there that night playing basketball than what you did up in Shipshewana. At Shipshewana, you had an unfortunate pass where caught the truck on fire.
Yeah, we had a fuel line end up coming loose, and that was pretty devastating. But we got to figure out what it was, and now we'll be ready to go for all the PPL points hooks and ITPA stuff. But that was Shipshewana. That was still one of the most fun weekends I've had in quite a long time. Just getting in the seat and first time at an indoor pull, it's a totally different environment for sure.
Well, I was going to ask you that. I know Mom and Dad have had experience before at indoor hooks. I think that was your first opportunity pulling on an indoor track. That's probably a little bit different. Seeing that sand pile coming at you.
It's a lot different, and you come up on it a lot faster than what it looks like from the outside view.
Their Ference has joined us broadcast there. He says, I got to put on my cheaters. Brad has been slacking here as of late with our joint venture we formed a couple years ago. Seems like that he's been carrying both ends of the log. Do you want to respond to that, Brad?
I don't think there's any response we can have to that.
Well, anyone else on our panel want to chime in here and ask questions of Brad and Brady Ingram?
Yeah, you guys mentioned, and I know you guys are not scared to go ahead and jump in with the open guys with the truck, and you put the bigger Charger on. It's going to take a fuel change to accommodate that extra air and make that horsepower, but you also got to get lighter with the truck. How much of a change is it with tire pressures and chassis setup and driving style to go from 3.6 and then jump into the open with the bigger Charger?
We normally can go up quite a bit of gear just because we've got so much more horsepower when we put the big turbo on. Of course, we have to hook up the water injection and then turn up the fuel. Normally, tire pressure won't change a lot, but then, we do have to throw 300 pounds off.
How big of a Charger are you going to when it's the big single?
We've got one of the new Hart's 5-inch Pro Stock turbos.
Are you guys with your block program? Are you a 6'4", 5'9", 6'7", 7'1"? What are you running?
They're 391 cubic inch billet aluminum blocks made at our Terre Haute, Indiana store. We've also new there last year. We ran an aluminum head on it as well that we'd built in house.
How much crossover are you guys getting between the pulling on the billets power plant and the dragster side? I know Jared's got that in the dragster as well.
They're both very, very similar. That way we can keep parts on the shelf and keep everything moving.
Good deal. So, Brad, can you kind of talk about just your pulling history? I mean, I know you've been with Scheid for just 25 years, but how long have you been pulling, and where did you start pulling?
Oh, I think we started around 2000. We actually pulled over at Greenville, Illinois. They had a big diesel event over there at the fairgrounds, and like I say, you do it one time, you're pretty well hooked for life.
Now, what class would that have been? Like a street diesel or?
Yeah, that was pretty well street diesel. I mean, the very first time we pulled, we had a stock clutch, stock turbo on a 99 Dodge. The next week, just as quick as we could get a new clutch put in it, we went to Stewart's in Illinois, and my wife won up there, and it never looked back since then.
Yes.
I think in about 2004 or 5, somewhere right in there is when we built our first actual pulling engine, and we've been going hardcore ever since.
Now, I'm always curious. I'm curious to know on the paint scheme or the wrap or whatever. Was that something that you and Kent just sat down and decided you wanted to go with kind of the lightning look on the trucks?
I think that was Dan Jide and Todd Cox and Kent. Yeah, we all got together and they laid out that logo, and Todd's Auto Body there, Todd Cox, had both trucks painted, and then the dragster as well.
Yeah, and it's
on the
very,
website too.
Yeah, very, very recognizable from a brand standpoint. I mean, if you see something with the lightning on it like that, you know that it's a Scheid vehicle, so it works really well. So one of the things too that I was going to talk about, Leroy could probably talk more. I'm not sure what your first hook is in ITPA, but I know you have a new place to hook for your first PPL hook this year, which is really close. You could almost call it a hometown pull. It's maybe 30, 40 minutes for you guys to Nashville.
Yeah, we're probably closer to an hour in Nashville. It should work out well this year. Brady's got baseball that morning, and then should be able to get down to the pool in time to make the first PPL hook.
Yeah, no, I think you guys will be the highest horsepower diesel truck class that is pulled there, and I know it's they've got a heck of a track there, so it should be really good for you guys. I'm excited to see what you guys do. Have you decided on who's driving where yet for the season?
Anytime Brady can make it, he's going to be running it. He's got a little better track record going than I do right now. But I'll probably be myself will run it when he's not there, and Susie will be staying home running our youngest one around with baseball and working.
Yeah, that's poor Brady. I just don't know how you're going to do it.
It's real hard, let me tell you.
Well, we saw that picture on there earlier. I pulled it off of one of the Facebook pages. I'm not sure if it was Susie's or Brad's, but yeah, I think you were 9 years old here, changing the gearing the.
That was one of my big specialties. Whenever I was younger, definitely. If any of the customers want a gear change, I was always the first one to grab some tools and jump in there to do it.
Oh, don't kid yourself. It's because you had the lowest center of gravity. It was a lot easier for you to Are you still the main gear change guy then?
I like to be. I like to always get my hands on if I can.
That's a good way to have it. It's the best way to learn.
Yep.
So Brady, it's the same question I asked Jeremy. If you could steal the keys to something else for a weekend, and I guess in your case, either go drag racing or steal the keys to anything else on planet pulling Earth, what would you take? Where would you take it, and why?
Oh, that's tough, but like I've hung around the dragster and Jared and all them over there, and I could. There's no way I could do that 220 mile an hour stuff. But I'd say any pulling vehicle, it definitely have to be a pro stock tractor, and I've never had the chance yet, but I'm sure, like Jeremy said, Bowling Green would have to be the place for it. I was out there the year Mom won the ring, and there's always something going on. That's one of the biggest pulls where you can simply not get bored walking around there.
Yeah, thanks for rubbing it into the guy who hasn't been there yet. What about you, Dad?
I think I'd be the same and have to either be a diesel super stock tractor or a pro stock tractor. And
Yes.
like either Bowling Green or the Shy Diesel Extravaganza, definitely the two biggest events I've ever been to.
Fair enough.
So are you guys going to be pulling for points this year on the state series, or are you going to try to be hitting more of the Lucas Oil PPL hooks, or what's your summer schedule looking like?
I would assume we're going to start out and run PPL, and then it's just going to kind of come down to some schedules after that. There's a lot of, this year with high school baseball being moved back in Illinois due to COVID, moved the travel ball back. So there's a lot of weekends we should be going to tractor pulls. We're going to be at home for baseball.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think with the IHSA baseball, Brady, you're probably going to be playing into middle of June, I would say, regular season,
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then they play fall baseball as well. So, he'll have virtually no time off. It'll be baseball, a couple of tractor pulls, and right back to baseball.
Gotcha. Well, looking at the state schedule for the 3-6 trucks, the season starts out at the Piatt County Junior Fair in Cerro Gordo on Friday, June 18th, and then the very next night, Jeremy Hayes' hometown pull, Sangamon County Fair, New Berlin, Illinois. So a couple of the early hooks right off the bat there for the 3-6 trucks.
Yes, we plan on making those. Look like we should be able to make most all the ITPA is going to be our plan.
Good deal. Anyone else got any questions for our two guests here tonight, Brad and Brady Ingram from Farina, Illinois, from Shy Diesel? Anyone watching on the internet or on the one of our Facebook pages or the YouTube channels chime in with any questions for father and son, Brad and Brady Ingram?
I will say that Adam Wilson has put on here that we were talking about Brad wanting to maybe get in the seat of a diesel super. He's thinking that we need the diesel supers at Shy Diesel Extravaganza. Second that motion, and hopefully that motion will carry. So, yeah, Brad, work your magic, whatever you got to do.
Jeremy Wagler, can we get an invitational, please?
Yeah, I'll pass the word on. I mean, we had diesel supers for many years, and we didn't have very many tractors showing up.
Really?
Yeah.
So on that, I know we talked about dates of the Shy Diesel Extravaganza. Is the planning, everything looking good? I mean, that I went over there for the first time this past year and really impressed with the facility, the layout, everything was compact, but there was still room. Lots of haulers, lots of great tractors. Of course, in the COVID year, but just really, really impressed with the whole show.
Yeah, I'm hoping we can build on it. Like I say, it's August 27th and 28th. We'll be at Lions Drag Strip there, the Wagler Motorsports Park, Lyons, Indiana. We learned a little bit last year, like everybody does, with some growing pains on parking. Of course, the whole COVID thing. So hopefully a lot of that's behind us, and hopefully we can bring a great event.
And you want to talk about the change, the reason why we left Terre Haute, Indiana, and went over to Lyons, to the Wagner Motorsports Park at all?
The fairgrounds and, the city was, I think, really wanting the event to move. Dan and Jeremy Wagler have worked together on several projects over the years, and the guy's got a great facility there, pulling track, drag strip, all right there. It's hard to beat.
Yeah, my first experience at Terre Haute 2 years ago when we did it live on the Lucas Oil Racing TV on Saturday night after I left, leaving the Wabash Valley Fairgrounds there about 1 a.m. in the morning. I had one of Terre Haute's finest pull out right behind me and follow me all the way to the hotel. It's 35-mile-an-hour speed limit there right down the middle of town on Route 41. I set the cruise on 34, and he followed me all the way to the hotel. And when I turned on my left signal to turn into the hotel, that's when he zoomed around me. So yeah, it's I think the city of Terre Haute probably brought that move on themselves. So if they're crying about lost revenue for restaurants and hotels, they really don't have anyone to blame but themselves. Just my 2 cents. I'm sure a lot of people share that same sentiment, but just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think it was a good move getting out of town.
Yeah, Lions. I mean, the just from that standpoint alone, the traffic on 41 there is. You go to Terre Haute, tomorrow there's going to be a lot of traffic there. You go during a show like that, and it is just unreal. So Lions, getting in and out of there last year was really not bad at all. I thought, there's only one road in off the main road, but they moved through it really well. Really impressed with the facility. So I think it was a great move.
I'll be back over there again this year. I had to take last year off. My wife and I had a baby on August 24th. The day the baby was born, day Kennedy was born, John Mears, he texted me and he said, well, since that baby's born, you're ready to go pulling this weekend at Lions. And I'm like, I don't think my wife would be very happy leaving her at home with about a 2 or 3 day old baby. So, but I will be back this year. Looking forward to the 2021 Shy Diesel Extravaganza.
That'll be good. We'll be glad to have you over there.
Brent, you've been awful quiet tonight. Brent, you got anything that you want to add here tonight?
Not really. I think you guys knocked it out.
Well, we appreciate everyone tuning in. As we mentioned, we had Jeremy Smith on the first half of the show talking about his new pro stock that he's building, the Cat Challenger. It will be making its debut June 11th and 12th at the 42 Raceway Park there in Ohio. Second half of the show, Brad and Brady Ingram with the Shy Diesel 3.6 Pro Stock Dodge. And we appreciate next week. Let's see who we got lined up next week. I think we got Growing Corn 2020. Isn't that right, Roos? We got Tony Reed and Nick McCormick, I believe, will be on the show next Monday night.
That is the plan.
Same time, same channel.
You're all gonna want to stay tuned. I'm pretty sure that we'll probably get a rant out of him, at least one. And if not, well, we all know what triggers him. So, one of us will have a Gleaner combine sitting, on our desk, and we'll just put it in camera view and just kind of watch the sparks fly, and it'll be fun.
We talked about TikTok a little bit when we had Jeremy Smith on. So really the TikTok sensation right now, the Growing Corn 2020, will be right here next Monday night, 8 p.m. Central.
And if we're really lucky, someone, maybe me, will trigger Nick on a 60-30 rant. He's got a lot of very strong feelings about John Deere's, Big Bad John. And if we're lucky, we'll get to hear some of those and maybe a few other stories from the road and from growing up. And who knows, we might even be able to get him to dish a little bit on Tucker. There's got to be some good Tucker stories. Tucker tells a lot of stories. Nobody ever tells stories about Tucker.
Of course, we're talking about Nick McCormick and nasty stuff.
That's right.
Next Monday night.
Well, Brad, Brady, do you guys have anything else before we let you go, guys?
We just want to thank you for having us on.
Who makes this happen?
Yeah, besides Shy, Brad, who else helps you out, buddy?
Shy Diesel Service. They own and operate the truck, and all of their employees help keep us going down the track.
I love it. I love it. Brady, good luck in your baseball career. You're a fine young man. You got great parents, and we'll see you this summer, okay?
Thank you. Sounds good.
Have a good night, guys.
See you, buddy.
All right, we'll
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
All right, dudes. Charles, where was you last weekend? You look tired.
You're muted.
See, tired. Exactly. We started the Outlaw Diesel Super Series at Piedmont Dragway. It was Rudy's Spring Truck Jam 8th Mile Diesel Drag Racing. And the other side of the Scheid crew was out there, Jared Jones and Dan himself, with their Spitzer chassis and compound charge billet block Cummins. And they made their, I want to say it might have been their fourth. That's the car, and that's actually Dan standing there in the middle. That's Dan Scheid himself in the middle, looking on in the black shirt as Jared Jones rips a burnout at Wagler. That was at the COVID drags, the no spectators allowed deal last summer at Wagler.
Oh, the golf cart race.
Yeah, that might have been
Golf
part.
cart
That was
jam.
part of it as well. Yeah, he had a pretty decent weekend of it. Put a 419 on the board. The record for that car is a 410, so that makes it I don't know if it's the fourth quickest pass they've had, but it's the third quickest I've seen them do. But the problem is in that class is that there's a bunch of guys who have dragsters that don't seem to want to show up, even though there's money on the table to be made. So I don't know, maybe Robinson, Graves, Wagler, Greg Albarella, I'm calling you guys out. Get to these events. Let's have some dragster races and push each other and see if we can get some diesel stuff to go in the threes, not just on radials like the Fire Punk guys. But decent weekend. We only had one stoppage in drag racing for about 15 minutes to get a broken truck out of the shutdown area. And other than that, it was smooth sailing. Broken parts, but no stoppages, and everybody was safe and no fires, no wrecks. Good start to a season.
Did you say Graves, like Mike Graves at Holly Rock?
Yeah, he's got Wade Moody's
dragster?
old. He's got Wade Moody's old chassis with a true twin turbo Duramax that his daughter's going to drive. They've done some testing. She's licensed for it. They've had the car for probably almost 2 years now. And he keeps teasing us that, hey, I'm coming, and we just haven't seen it yet.
Come on, Graves, get it out. Let's see what it'll do.
Yeah. I want to see somebody. So here's the thing I want to see in this sport that I think would be absolutely awesome is somebody to take Jeremy Wagler's idea with the screw blower V8 deal and try to do something like that, but put it in a pro mod chassis that is also radial versus the world capable. With what Burkhardt has done with the billet Duramax block, we've taken the LSM block that he's got and put it on the scales. It's within 30 pounds of an alcohol Hemi block. So all this stuff about diesels are too heavy, nope. It's there for the taking. Just somebody's got to take the initiative and do the development, and it goes down to shared data too. It can't be just one guy. There's got to be some help there. But it's out there. It's out there. I'm excited to see it.
I was following you all weekend on Facebook, Charles, to kind of see you guys got rained out Saturday, but you did race on Sunday, or you got rained out Friday. How did that work?
We knew it was going to rain on Saturday. We pushed all the pro qualifying into Friday night, ran all 3 sessions, and got everybody qualified. And it sure enough, it did rain pretty much all day Saturday. That was kind of cool. It gave everybody a chance to let their hair down, relax, go through their equipment, make sure everything's right being this early in the season, but also spend time together as teams and friends, and just set aside the racing part and just go have some fun, have some food, have some drinks if that's your want, and just enjoy each other's company, and then come back on Sunday and get right with the program. So that's kind of what we did.
What's on your T-shirt, Charles?
This is a honest to God old school Bob Dabrowski Stinger T-shirt.
Nice.
From the 80s, and this tractor actually lives about 15 minutes from here now. Bob Smith bought it, I want to say 98 or 99 from Dabrowski, and they ran it as a Stinger, him and his son Brody. They tried turbos on it. They put the cage on it. At one point, it got repainted yellow, and the name was changed to Alcohol Abuse. Brody still has it. It's one of the unique Allison tractors because the factory Allison crankcase, the cylinder bores are actually right next to each other, and you'll have one rod where it's like this, and then the other rod forks like that. Well, the blocks on this tractor are actually offset boards, so you can run automotive style rods that are side by side. There aren't many pulling tractors that are set up that way. Bob passed away a handful of years ago. Brody's got his hands full raising kids and works. They're building windmills like crazy north of here. There's already 700 up there and more on every day. He works up there on the windmills and just hasn't had the time to put the tractor back together. But I want to say he took the chassis down to, it was a Woody Woodward chassis. Took it down to Anglers, I think, and they went through everything. It's just a matter of having the time, budget, all at the same time to put it all back together.
So, Charles, I was in Saginaw, Michigan Saturday night. My son plays Division II soccer, and they were the 8 seed against the 1 seed Saginaw Valley State. You were talking about a hell of a campus for Division II, right? I was like, holy crap. I thought I was walking onto a Big Ten campus.
Up there on the northwest corner of town, there's a lot of space.
Holy crap. Well, I guess Matt LaFleur, the Packers head coach, went there, and there's been a lot of money put back into that area. But anyway, so I wore my Remedy t-shirt because I wear a lot of Beer Money stuff, and I'm walking across the parking lot going to the hotel in Saginaw Saturday night, and this guy sees my t-shirt and doesn't say nothing. He goes out to our vehicle, and he sees Schultz, Wisconsin on the license plates, and he comes running back inside. He goes, "Hey, are you the Beer Money guy?" And ended up being Scott Capozzo, the other brother.
Oh, so that's where that picture came from.
Yeah.
All right.
Ah, that's great.
No, it's so funny because and I always try to wear a Beer Money shirt because it happened to me in Cancun when we were in Mexico.
Yeah.
And Scott comes up and he goes, "Yeah, I'm the other brother," because he works for Ford. He's not part of the excavating business like Charlie and his brother. But it was so funny. But we talked about Drew, we talked about you, he talked about you announcing Charles, and he gave me I have a Cruel Intentions koozie now, and he was drinking Coors Light, and I went down to the liquor store and bought a bottle of vodka, and we had a good time. So,
and I'll say this without reservation to all three of their faces: Nick, you're the intense one; Charlie, you're the laid back one; Scott, you're the funny one.
He was. Oh, he was a hoot. He was a hoot for sure. So, but it was cool because he's like, this guy kind of walks across the park and kind of looks at me, and I don't, whatever. I'm fat and ugly, and he saw the back of my shirt.
He didn't start out that way. Scott always looks at people that way.
Then he saw my wife's license plates because years ago I put 5 Schultz on her plates because I wanted Schultz, but somebody had taken Schultz, so a 5 kind of looks like an S. And he saw the Wisconsin plates, and he was pushing the big roll rack out there. And also he turns around and kind of chased me back inside. He goes, "Hey, are you the Beer Money guy?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, you interviewed my brother." And then it was cool. I talked to him for a good hour. It was such a small world. It was really neat, Charles. And he talked about how much you mean as an announcer in your area. And I said, "Oh, Charles is on our show every Monday night." And I said, "I try to get Charles and Leroy every announcing gig I can for these guys." So it was really cool, Charles. That was to be up in your neck of the woods. So
good deal.
So and then real quick, you guys put like 13 axles on the grounds up there on your semis. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so Michigan is different from any place else on the planet, and I'm probably going to screw some of this up, and there'll be some truckers who get mad at me and chime in, and that's fine. But we're a per axle state. Pretty much everywhere else in the country, it's gross combined, the whole thing.
Yeah.
But here, it's literally by the axle, and we can go up as high as, I want to say, actually, you can, if you have the right chassis configuration as far as your trailers and the spacing on the axles, I think we can go all the way to 172,000 pounds without needing a special permit of any kind. And this was actually a conversation in North Carolina. Somebody said, "Hey, you Michigan drivers, you're all crazy drivers. Why are you like that?" And it's simple. We were all born and raised in the Motor City where we all think we're Dale Earnhardt, but we're also being chased constantly by these trucks that weigh 160,000 pounds with 1,000 horsepower that can do 85 miles an hour down the highway.
Yep.
So
Michigan specials for the win, baby.
Yeah, Michigan special is a thing. If you go on any kind of truck classified and just type in the 2 words Michigan special, you're going to find all kinds of tractor trailer combos for sale for this state. And it's been that way for so long. The industry has such a powerful lobby that it'll never get changed. The downside of it is those trucks beat the living snot out of our roads. It's bad.
Truth to that.
Well, my wife was asking me, but I mean, I just said I figured by all the axles, it kind of spreads it out kind of like a quad track tractor. And I was trying to explain that to her, and I told her you'd be on the show Monday night. So
it spreads it out so that they just pile more on
it. Leroy told you to quit walking around behind the camera.
I walked around once.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all good.
What do we do to piss Zolik off? Zolik was a no-show tonight.
Well, he's down with Tucker he's down in Kentucky. They're doing seed plots right now. So,
gotcha.
Yep. He texted me earlier and let me know that. So, Paul, besides Nashville, what do you got going on in your life? I mean, I know you're building pro stocks and limited pros. First of all, thank you for getting Jeremy Smith. I've known of the high strung tractor for years, but didn't know that was neat to have Jeremy on the night.
Yeah, no, we've been kind of going back and forth over Messenger, and I was excited to get him on there. I'm dying to see that new thing all the way. I want to see that tractor. I've heard about it for a long time.
I wanted to play the TikToks, honestly, but every time we do that, I get in trouble with Facebook. They must have changed something. They're going back on videos that I posted 17 and 18 and 19, and they're pulling up these music rights now. I made a phone call today to somebody to try to figure it out. If I do, I'll let you guys know. I'm still working on it. So
please do, because Spotify whacked me for a podcast that was like 4 years old.
Yeah, I don't know. This is stuff, a lot of these promoters, like the Nebraska Lincoln Cornhusker Classic, right, Bruce? Yeah.
Yep.
I shared all their stuff on our page, and then I'm an editor on the Cornhusker Classic, I think it's called, their page, and every day I get a notification, and Ryan probably sees them too. Anybody that's an admin or editor on Beer Money, those videos, you guys, are from 2019. So I was super careful. I listened to all the TikToks, and I download what you guys send me, but I don't want to have a really good show going like we have with Shramix and then lose all of our listeners and followers because of that. So
if I can get those early enough, just sidebar, I can probably process those and dump the audio off of it so we can just have clean video.
Yeah, everybody's talking about that. There's comments right now. People, he's getting nailed on videos that don't even have music. So it's all good. So, Leroy, what do you got going on? You're all set for growing corn, Tony, next week. Have you connected with Nick yet, or what do we got to do there?
Well, I was going to get with Roos after the show and try to make that connection there. Of course, you and I, we're going to be at Dubuque, Iowa, the Outlaw Poll. Outlaw up there in the corner of the screen. Let's see here, May 21st and 22nd.
Yep.
And then as far as the Lucas Oil, we are going to be doing live stream from Fort Recovery, Ohio. So the first 2 weekends in June, first weekend in June, we're going to be on MAV TV Plus from Fort Recovery, Ohio. And then the second weekend in June, we're going to be in Farley, Iowa.
So the first weekend, you won't be in Nashville with me and Paul. You'll be in Fort Recovery.
Right. My schedule got changed. John Mears called me the other day and said that we added Fort Recovery, Ohio to the live stream. So that's going to be on MAV TV Plus. So no, I will not be at the Track and Holes Hours the first weekend in June. I will be in Fort Recovery, Ohio, doing that one on live TV. And then second weekend in June, like I mentioned, we'll be in Farley, Iowa. Third weekend in June, you and I will be in Paris, Missouri on Friday night for the Children's Miracle Network poll. And then you're going to go to Fayette, Missouri on Saturday. And then I go to a brand new ITPA event that Saturday night, the I-70 Showdown at the Effingham County Fairgrounds in Altamont. I'm really looking forward to that event. That's going to be, I'm sure, Paul, you'll be there, won't you, Paul?
Which one was that?
The I-70 Showdown in Altamont.
Yep, and it's looking like there's going to be 2 orange tractors there.
Outstanding.
Paul, can you see the question on the screen?
Yep, Nick, that was for 618 Motorsports new pro stock that's coming.
So I've been told to not see that. So the Iowa State Fair thing went viral. Yeah. And I got a call tonight that said it's going to happen, but there's a big donor, Roos, that donated a ton of money to make this happen. So Kurt asked me to kind of lay low on all the Iowa State Fair talk until the donor gets their recognition. So I'm just going to say it like that, and I'm going to leave it alone. Okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Hey,
but that went crazy.
Are you going to comment on Colin's question, though? Maybe a yes
I will
or
be
no?
there. I will be there. I'll be there. And then I'm going to put my dad on it because you guys don't know what the Iowa State Fair means to me as a kid. I want to see my dad pull my tractor at the Iowa State Fair. And if I can ever get him into Louisville, my dad's sitting on it, because those are just a couple places as a kid that you went with your dad. But the Iowa State Fair, you guys, I have Banner Brothers stories. I have so many stories about the Iowa State Fair as a kid. It's kind of not emotional, but yeah, kind of. I mean, it's something that means a lot to me, kind of like the Iron Elk.
Before we wrap up this week's show, I know you want to talk about the Remedy. Remedy's back home at the shop, sitting right next to well-spent Tony McDonald. You got the new wrap on it. Got the new white wrap on it. I'm sure you want to throw up a picture to show. There you go. And that's not a rendering. That's the actual picture.
I about, you guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I about freaking cried when I saw that tractor. I came in there, and it was sitting next to 2 sprint cars and like a dirt track, NASCAR. And I couldn't believe it was my tractor. I about cried. It looked so good. They did such an amazing job. And driving, I just kept looking in the mirror. I drove 900 miles in one day. I drove out to South Dakota, back to Wisconsin, dropped it off, and I took my dad's truck and trailer back to Iowa. But that tractor, you guys, I mean, I know it's mine and I know it's sentimental or whatever, but I'm telling you guys, it looks stupid good. So.
No, it does. Be proud of it, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, Paul.
Yes.
Can we do the thing, please? Can you
The
machine
thing.
the thing?
You're going to have to fill me in. I'm clueless.
From that text message I sent last night. We need to do this.
I got to look back
We'll
at the
give Paul
text
a moment
message.
to check his.
Well, while you do that, here's this year's crew shirts.
Good looking shirts.
And I will. Everybody that's part of you guys are all getting a free shirt. I'm gonna get Roos Sink. I always say his name wrong. He's one of my best buddies. I'm gonna give him 2 shirts because he doesn't do the laundry. But those are new shirts, and for those of you that want to buy one, I'm gonna, once I get the prices nailed down from 6B, I'm gonna give everybody a chance to go on to beermoneygear.com and order one if you want one. So, but they turned out really good. It's the same vector files from the tractor, guys. So it's it's that to that. So it's pretty cool how we're trying to tie all this together. So,
Bruce, the answer is yes.
Good. Can you? If you could do something like that, that would be pretty legit.
I just need to know. I gotta. I know where the one is at.
I was gonna say, Jason, how does your dead man throttle attach?
So it's on my left side, and it's right by my left hand, and it's just a regular push down now next to the air. And I have one that shuts off the air, and I have one that shuts off everything, air and fuel. And thank God I've only had to pull it once in my life. So all good. But I know I saw your text message last night. So
we have to do that because if we don't, somebody else is gonna do it.
I gotcha.
And I would like us to be the ones that do it.
No, that's fair. That is fair.
We can come up something.
Brent, what you got going on in your world, buddy?
So last weekend I was at Mississippi Thunder Speedway, which is in Fountain City, Wisconsin. Did some dirt track photography there. Learned a lot. Bought some more stuff to make it better. But yeah, I'll be doing that again on Friday. Pretty much.
Did they make you wear the vest?
What was that?
Did they make you wear the vest?
Nope, that track does not. But next,
Leroy or Charles, what vest you talking about?
Like the safety vests.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh wow, high res.
There's a lot of tracks, dirt track racing and drag racing that make you wear them. But yeah, I'll be doing that this Friday, and then next week, Friday, Saturday is the World of Outlaws, so I'll be getting a chance of doing that. And then I guess pretty much just waiting for polling season to come around.
What poll are you going to first, bud?
I think it'll probably be no, it won't be Boston. I'll be first for WTPA. Dubuque will be the first poll.
Okay.
And then that following weekend will be Memorial Weekend. So I'll plan on going to Farley, Iowa on Friday night, and then going down to Paris and probably Fayette.
You want to jump in with me, Brent? On that?
Or no, that'd be Milan Weekend. I lied. That'd be Milan Weekend, and then go back up probably to
Moscowville.
No, this would be the weekend before that.
Okay.
So it'll be Farley Friday, Milan Saturday, and then Sauk Rapids, Minnesota Sunday, and Taylor, Wisconsin on Monday. So those are my first 2 weekends of polling.
Okay.
And and then WTPA, we're just kind of tying some things together with the video board that we got. So it's going to be a exciting season for us for that, and looking forward to it.
What's a Jordan, Minnesota thing? I've been seeing some guys post about it.
Brent, he was the one that did. They put on a poll last year. It would have been the same weekend as Warrensburg, Missouri.
You went down to the Outlaw Hook, right? You and Roos?
Yeah, I went down to that one, but that would have been the same weekend. They had a really good turnout for it, and they now are doing 3 classes with UPM. It's on June 5th, and then they also have like 5 or 6 other classes going on. I think something like, I don't know if it's like Central Minnesota Polars, and I'm sure Brent would be able to mention something in the chat, but it's I think like 5 or 6 classes, and they have like street semis, open diesel trucks, some 7-mile-an-hour classes, some open farm classes, stuff like that. So that's June 5th in Jordan, Minnesota.
Yeah, Paul, Jordan, Minnesota sounds great, but I'm going to cruise down to Nashville on Friday so I can hang out with Paul, and Shorefight, he's going to put on a cooking hat for me, I believe. So
that's the plan.
Nope.
Yeah.
618 motor shorts.
618 motor shorts.
That's right.
I don't talk a lot about my kids, but I'm super proud. My son played his last college soccer game Sunday in Saginaw, and he got his bachelor's degree in 3 years. And he's going up to work at Kohler. And then my youngest son, who's a freshman in college, just got his private pilot's license. So it was a good weekend for the Schultz family. So, and I got my tractor back. So and Tony's starting to work on the motor. So.
And you and Kurt Van Beek are buying a plane together. Gotcha.
If we buy a plane, it's gonna be mostly Kurt.
You can afford like a door or something.
Yeah, I'll probably throw 10 grand at it, but I don't know if I don't think I can buy the whole plane. So I just bought a KW W9. So, and I'm putting a new motor together in my tractor, and you guys all know how much that costs. So that's all I'm gonna say. So,
they're cheap.
Yeah, I heard they're cheap.
Yeah, cheap.
We'll tell next time you talk to Kurt.
Has Doug gotten back yet? Has he gotten home from 75?
So he had a load in Georgia this morning. He's delivering Elkhart, Indiana tonight. And then he'll be back home to Wisconsin tomorrow. Ryan, you and I are going to that show next year. We're taking my truck down.
Yes, please.
Yeah, no. I saw the pictures, and my truck just needs 2 things, and it'll be show ready by next spring.
So you mean big stacks and a seat that sits you down on the floor?
Actually, Charles, I already got the big stacks.
Tall shifter.
No,
Shifters up here.
I already did the big stacks, but my truck's about 3 inches off the ground because I guess I got to get another rim set up, Charlie, so I can drop it all the way down. So my truck this summer, we'll be able to drop it down to about 3 inches off the ground is what I've been told with the airbag. But I got to do something with the rim. I got to get a different rim and tire, Charlie, to put it all the way down.
Different spindles too, yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to spend that $3 grand quite about now. So
sell another house, it'll be fine.
It'll be okay. So
you can use I authorize you to use the commission from my mortgage on that.
I've already spent that. Ryan, I've already spent
that.
I've already spent that on a crankshaft. It's okay.
Awesome. You want to make a few phone calls to ensure that we close on the 7th?
We're going to close on time. It's up to your seller and his little condo deal. So that's all I'm going to say about it. We're ready.
That guy. Yeah, shout out to anybody who has a certain contractor in Ankeny, Iowa's phone number, his personal cell, because I have a few choice words for him.
So no, my new rig it's Viper Red. It's going to be a long one. I'm excited about it. I'm kind of going cool trucker guy. I'm pretty excited for it. So, there's a couple places that I'm going to have to back up a couple times to get out of. That's all I'm going to have to say. But
that's all right. It's just more attention.
Yep, I'm pretty excited for that.
12-point turn.
12-point turn. So, you guys, this show has really taken a new turn with having all of you on here on Monday nights. I really appreciate Charles's expertise and the rest of us. It's a lot of fun.
I was thinking the whole thing tonight. I don't even know where I am.
No, I know, but Charles, you and Leroy add such a unique feature to it. I mean, it's just really, really good in bringing the people on. And I'm not downplaying Paul or Ryan or Brent, but we know we're just a bunch of schmucks compared to you and Leroy, so it's all good.
Right.
Hell, I learned something new from Charles every damn week.
Yeah. I follow Charles on Facebook, and he's cool. He's good at what he does, and I love it. I love him.
I'm definitely not cool.
I'm glad he's in my life. So it's all good. So yeah.
All right. Okay, let's do this again next Monday night.
So just get Tony, and Tony's been texting Ryan, Leroy.
Yeah.
I want to have Growing Corn on and Nick, and just get them in a place where there's good internet. That's all I ask. So
that ain't Stewartson.
Well, I'll take my air card. If Nick doesn't have, we'll work out the details. We'll take care of it on our end.
And then Dubuque, Iowa, guys. If everybody can share that Dubuque, Iowa poll, I'm gonna play that video to wrap it up. That's a big event on the Outlaw circuit. It's the first one of the year, and a new promoter. I'd like to help him out as much as we can. Okay. So.
Hey, can we talk about what's going to happen on Thursday night yet, or no? Or do we still need to iron out some details there?
No, we're getting close on it, Ryan. So, for those of you that maybe don't know, the beer money pulling team is going to finally have their own beer. It's called the Remedy Beer, and I've shown everybody on here the picture of the wrap of the actual bottle. It's not going to get canned yet. It's going to get bottled. But the Thursday night before, Ryan has teamed us up with the Bone Twister, Super Rooster, and Profab too, right?
Oh, yeah. They'll be there.
And the Remedy. And we're going to put these 4 pulling vehicles on display in Dubuque, Iowa, in the old Millwork District. And we're working on a live band. And we're going to kick off the Remedy Beer. And we're going to have a good time that Thursday night before the Dubuque show, Friday and Saturday night. And that Dubuque show, guys, it's a hell of a fairgrounds. There's 2 tracks, and I think they have 8 classes. And it's going to be a hell of a show if any of you can get there. So it's going to be a good time.
When is this?
Supers. Need I repeat
May
Diesel
21st
Supers.
and 22nd. Yeah, Diesel Supers. So the Diesel Supers, the Grand National tractors are going to show up, guys, because they don't have an NTPA hook yet. So if that's not enough to make you get there, I don't know what else is. And the 401 class should be gigantormous. So it should be great. So.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of big classes. That 2-wheel drive truck class and the 4-wheel drive truck class will probably also be very large because they're going to want to get out and test before actually. I mean, they get done early. They get their stuff together and they want to go. They want to go pulling right away.
Go for a rip, and so the plan is Thursday night, close off a street, put the tractors out.
Yep.
Have lots of fun. Drink some tasty beer.
Yep.
And just have a good time. Well, nobody has to worry about wrenching and making sure that things are ready to go for an imminent show. Correct?
Right. That's exactly right, Ryan.
Nice. So, y'all get to Dubuque. Make some plans. Make a hotel reservation. There's plenty of hotels in that town.
Yep.
And I'm talking to everybody who, everybody watching. It will be a good show. Outlaw runs a fast show. They run a very competitive show. It's a great time. We have fun. Outlaw shows are a blast.
Yeah, Leroy's announcing it, so it's going to be good. And then hopefully my motor's put together and we're off the dyno and we're ready to roll. So,
first Outlaw event I did was last year. Roos is out there, Rock Valley, Iowa. Well, he's
still waiting for somebody to pronounce my name correctly so you can give them a shirt. You remember that?
Well, Roos is a little bit late. He had some tire issues. We're not going to bring that up.
Yeah, I had tire pressure issues. Complete lack thereof.
But when we started that show, it was like running 2 tracks. Of course, it was just like bang, 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 bang. When the first one was done on the east track, the west track took off. When the west track was done pulling, the east track took off.
Yeah, the fact that they got through 140 vehicles in less than 3.5 hours.
That was insane. But it didn't feel rushed.
No,
it really didn't.
Poor Rodney Crum could barely keep up with his power and noise.
That's because he doesn't know his home row. He's a chicken finger pecker.
Yeah.
That's going to get repeated as a drop.
Yeah, something about a chicken finger pecker.
On behalf of Charles Posch, wave Charles, Paul Roman, me, Brett Yaron, Ryan Roos Sink, and Leroy Schluter. I'm going to play the Dubuque video. Have a good night. We'll see you next Monday night with Growing Corn. Probably one of the most famous TikTokers in our world. You guys got to agree, right?
Agreed.
Fully agreed.
I have no idea. What's TikTok?
Shut up, folks.
Brian knows.
I love it. I love it.
All right.
Have a good night, guys.
See ya.
Hey, guys. Take care, folks.
Here's the Dubuque video right now.